Let's talk a little more about um, how to end an argument or how to get out of an argument, or maybe not get into an argument. That's probably the best one that you can stop before you enter. I talked a little bit about you can basically own your own experience and just say that, I have a different experience. And if you feel okay about that inside of yourself, then there is no problem. The problem arises when we're not feeling okay with our own experience. And that is where the work needs to be done for all of us, really coming to the full embrace of who we are and how we express ourselves. Now, it's still not who we are, but we can at least become fully who we know ourselves to be as an expression of the divine with certain values, certain core values, certain likes and dislikes, or movement towards or movement away from a clear yes inside or a clear no inside. That's something I have talked about a lot because that's kind of at the core of where we split away from ourselves. When we have a clear yes and we don't honor it, then you have the division, you go into duality, and you try and fit into a world that is not true for you. So when you are about to enter into an argument or somebody wants to argue with you, and if you have it in you, if you have done enough work where you can hold yourself and be okay, like, I hear what you're saying, but this is my experience, right? So there's a few other things you can add to that. Let's say somebody has a very opposite experience or opinion than you do, and they may be very animated about it or very righteous or something, and they come at you with this energy and that they're right and you're wrong. Now, the first thing you can do is, you meet them in their experience. It's not about you at all. It's about them having an experience which is different than yours, right? And you can just name that. You can say, wow, you're really passionate about that. Or you can say, wow, I hear that's really important for you. Um, and then you can just let them be with that experience for a moment and just feel how energized they are with that. And then you could ask more questions. You could just say, like, wow, what is so important about that? Or what is important about you expressing that to me, because I really feel your passion. So you keep it on the other side and you do not go into defending yourself or judging yourself or trying to be something that you're not, or think there's something wrong with you, because there is not. It's just your experience. So many times, just having a response to somebody like that who has that strong opinion, that can already take some of the charge out for them. And they may go like, yeah, they may either go like, yeah, I am, because they're able to self-reflect so they can own that, or they're so in it's like, yeah, and they go more into that experience and their righteousness about it. So no, so you could say other things, and I want to give a little example of something that I went through. This is some years ago, in the early, well, like 4 years ago, when the whole split actually happened in the world, where people took sides and people judged others for not thinking like they did, and so on. And there was a friend, and he actually was very kind about saying, I have some judgments about you. And I mean, that takes a lot just to come up and say that. And it was because I was not believing the same that he was. I don't need to go into the story, but and he had judgments around that, and he owned it. And I said, "Well, thank you for sharing. That's wonderful." And then I said, maybe we should meet for tea and just talk about it. Maybe I can learn some from you, and maybe you can learn some from me. So we did, and it was a beautiful, beautiful meeting because I just let him, express that, and I met him the best way I could. And then at a certain point, I say, so, it sounds like it would be really important for you that I see it the same way that you do. And, there's always a little, oh, it's like going a step behind their expression. And when when somebody's arguing and want to be right and make you wrong or convince you that you're wrong or whatever it is, no, you can name that and say, wow, it sounds like it's really important for you that I see it your way. So he said, yeah, oh yeah, that's a good question, he said, I think. And then I said, what is important about that? When we leave our little meeting today, would you like me to see it your way? Is that what you want? So he did a little, oh, And so he was able to self-reflect, and he was not there to make me wrong, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't have that conversation. But I just met him in his experience, and then with a curiosity, like, well, what would be a good outcome? And what is important about me seeing it your way? And then he thought about it and he says, well, the world would be safer. And I really, so, and then we laughed, because it was like, really, you think my view is unsafe in the world? And it was really funny because we did get a good laugh about it, and realized that maybe I'm not all that dangerous. And it was a very beautiful meeting, and I was so grateful that at that point in time I was not doubting what I was experiencing. I was not doubting how I saw things. And there was nothing in me that needed to convince him that I was right and he was wrong, because that was not there. There was just like, oh, okay, well, this is my experience. And apparently you have a different one, and you would like to convince me that yours is better or right. And let's just look at that. What is so important about that? So I'm just giving you this as a little option to maybe consider if you get into an argument or somebody who wants to make you wrong. Um, and you can also say, so it sounds like you feel really right about it, and you really want to convince me. It's like it's really letting them experience their own experience. And like I said, I could do that because I was solid inside. I had no agenda. I feel totally okay about my experience. And so I could just stay in a place of presence, of peace, of love, and definitely connection, right? And so we stayed connected, and we both agreed that this had been a really beautifully healing conversation. It certainly was for me because it gave me the ability to see what was possible when I was in that, position of being judged for being different. And that's kind of what we do in the world, isn't it? So we don't need to do that, but we do need to find our own true expression and be okay with that. That's really what it comes down to. And when we're not fully okay with it, there's a tendency to defend it, make the other one wrong, maybe have them come over to our side because we are not fully on our own side ourselves yet. And then you will get into arguments and battles. But when you own yourself, when you can embrace and allow yourself to be who you are, things get a lot easier. And with that, you bring that peace to the other, to the world, to a situation. It's tangible. I guarantee you, if you're able to do that, there will be a shift. They will notice something. Something will change in them. They may not see it right away or experience it right away, but something is touched in them. And less arguing, less battle, less duality. Thank you for listening.